This week's best MMA bets for UFC 267. Smash that like button, guys. I need at least 105 likes on this full card betting breakdown. Much love to my supporters. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and let's get into it. The first section, as we always do, will be the locks of the night. Then we'll jump to dogs. We'll talk about some parlays. Lots of interesting betting action to potentially take here. So let's start it off. The locks of the night for the UFC 267 card, which is a damn good one. Now, the first of my locks of the night, I am big on Albert Duraev. I think this guy has a very bright future and a nasty skill set. He is sitting around minus 300 to the plus 279 underdog Roman Kopylov. I like Duraev here, and I do think he should work towards a finish. Duraev inside the distance would be the prop that I give you guys at minus 120. Could potentially get a submission or a TKO. Value betting wise, I mean, you look at Duraev submission, it's plus 130. You look at TKO, it's plus 500. I do think he may beat Kopylov into giving up his neck, and he will lock in a submission. So submission is fairly likely here. I like that inside the distance bet because it covers both. It's at minus 120. I do think he is a lock pick of the night for certain here. Albert Duraev to beat Roman Kopylov. That is the first of our locks of the night, and it's one definitely to be excited about. Now, the next of our locks of the night, got to give it up to Khamzat Chimaev. Minus 350 at best value. That's pretty good. Leech Li Jiliang is upwards of plus 444, so he's a pretty big underdog. I like Chimaev's chances here to get a win inside of the distance. Looking at the props, I'm leaning more towards TKO for Chimaev. That's plus 180. If it were submission, upwards of plus 300. Looking at Chimaev inside the distance, it's at minus 150 tag. So you're going to have to throw a good amount more down on it. Minus 350, not a terrible straight bet, but most likely Chimaev gets to finish. He is a straight finisher. All his wins are by finish. I don't think this one goes any differently. I expect him to dominate here. Khamzat Chimaev, our second lock of the night. This UFC 267 card. Damn good one, and some great bets to make. Now, the next of our locks of the night, championship bout between Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen. I have Yan. I think he's an excellent prediction. You also think about Corey Sandhagen, right? Taking this fight on short notice. Difficult matchup against a guy in Petr Yan. Odds-wise, minus 214 to plus 205. I like Yan's chances here at minus 214. Now, prop betting-wise, I don't love it. I do think he could get a finish, especially late. Maybe a TKO. Looking at the TKO for Petr Yan, that's plus 245. But we might be going 5 rounds. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if Yan goes out there and wins a hard-fought decision. That's around plus 165, upwards of plus 230. I like Petr Yan for sure with a win. I think he's a great parlay addition, minus 214. Now, if you're betting the time here, I think you're running into more potential risk because Sandhagen, not an easy guy to put away. I mean, he does have that fast submission loss to Aljamain Sterling, but weird fight there. The submission game of Yan, not at that same level, though Yan is nasty from top position. Excellent boxing. I think he wins. I think he is a great lock of the night. Now, the next of our locks of the night, Islam Makhachev over Dan Hooker. The odds aren't great though. Minus 575 to plus 472. So when you look at it from a betting perspective, definitely not the best, but I think that the likelihood of Makhachev is high here. I do think Dan Hooker can go the 3 rounds with him. Makhachev to win by a decision plus 100. So you do get a slight bit of even money there. I mean, it's nice. It's a plus tag. Not necessarily the best bet you could potentially do value-wise, but I think that's the likely outcome here is Makhachev winning by a decision. If you were feeling like, hey, I want to bet the sub, it's plus 225 for that. Less confident in it. TKO, even more less confident in it, but that is big value, plus 600. I like Makhachev. I do think over 1.5 should cash here. That's minus 270, so the value's pretty good there. Fight goes the distance, minus 140 range, but I like Makhachev as a potential parlay addition, a straight bet, or if you're throwing a lot of money at it, it's a good money line play. But if you're not going to be putting a ton on it, obviously, be more risk. And, risking 575 to make 100 back, not necessarily the best style of betting, though Makhachev for the victory is extraordinarily likely, and I think it's low percentage of upset chance here. Unless Hooker caught him with some knee coming in. Hooker does have nice knees. He does have knockout ability. I just don't think it's all that likely. Now, the next of our locks of the night, Magomed Ankalaev over Volkan Oezdemir. Ankalaev streaking, Oezdemir coming off loss. I do think looking at the matchup, this is the Ankalaev fight here, especially if he mixes in some grappling. Minus 274 to plus 260. I think Ankalaev is a solid bet. Potential parlay addition. Decent straight bet, but minus 274 is a bit of a wide tag. Ankalaev, I do think he wins a decision here. That'd be plus 235. Not a terrible bet. If you were to win inside the distance, you can also find that at plus 110. Over 1.5, minus 155, I think is likely here. Oezdemir on the opposite side is a touch of death fighter, so we will just talk about the potential prop. I mean, if you're on his side, you want him to win, you think he'll win. Maybe you want to play Oezdemir KO TKO at plus 450. It is an option there, but likelihood of that, minimal here. I don't think he gets the victory over Magomed Ankalaev. And you look at Ankalaev's only loss, it was to Paul Craig, submission. Odd moment. It is what it is. That is the fight game. I think he runs through Volkan Oezdemir here and has a great performance. And we're talking about him as a potential title challenger in the next year or so. Because keep your eye on Magomed Ankalaev. Seriously, keep your eye on him. Now, the next lock of the night is going to be Alexander Drago Volkov minus 280. Marcin Tybura plus 252. I like Volkov here. I am definitely leaning decision. The durability of Tybura is serious. He's known for taking good shots and coming back. You know, Volkov, patient striker. He's going to take his time, pick Tybura apart, defend the grappling attacks. I think fight goes the distance. Plus 120 is likely here. But I think Volkov win by a decision is a solid bet. That's plus 230. I do think that one comes through as far as prop betting goes. Now, the main event, Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira, I don't want to say Jan is the most definite lock. I do think it's high possibility that he wins, and that's why we're talking about it here in this lock section. But we have to acknowledge Glover Teixeira has a good chin, lots of fight experience, nasty jiu-jitsu game. If any 40-year-old man could pull off an upset, it would be Glover. I like these locks that we just listed out. I think they'd be very good ones. Tagir Ulanbekov, I think, is another high likelihood of victory. But fighting a tall guy in Alan Nascimento could potentially be a challenge for the developing prospect. Damir Ismagulov, I know a lot of people are going to be on him, but I do want to talk about that fight for just a moment. Magomed Mustafaev is a tricky wrestler. It's a hard fight. I think Ismagulov-Mustafaev, fight goes the distance, would be more of the lock here, because I think that's high likelihood. Both guys have proven they go distance, even though, you know, Mustafaev does have a nice knockout win against Fiziev, you know, a few fights back. Fight goes the distance is minus 160 there. It's not a terrible bet either. Overall, some great locks, some good action and money to be made. Looking forward to it. I do want to throw some dogs you guys' way. Let's talk about them. The first dog of the night, I have to go with Hugh Yazong over Andrei Petrovsky. Tricky Greco-Roman wrestler, big, tall guy. Petrovsky has a questionable gas tank. Hugh does not, even up weight classes. I think he's going to win by a late TKO here. He's sitting at plus 198 at best value. If you can find Hugh wins inside the distance, plus 450, when that KO TKO prop bet drops, potentially play that probably for even more plus money, maybe plus 500. I like Hugh win by KO TKO. We'll talk about it on the weigh-in recap show in more depth because unfortunately it's not listed here, and I do assume they will drop one. Actually, we'll jump over to fight odds real quick just to see, or excuse me, best fight odds. Petrovsky, Yazong, Hugh. Let's see if we can find the prop here for KO TKO. Plus 650. Yeah, so if you can find plus 650, I think that would be a valuable play. But yeah, we're going with Hugh as an underdog. Now, the next of our dogs of the night, I am feeling like there's a decent potential for Michael Olejniczak to beat Shamil Gazimatov here. He's plus 127. His opponent, Gazimatov, is minus 135, or excuse me, minus 137, depending on where you're at. Prop betting wise, I don't love it because I think this fight could go a wide array of outcomes, and Gazimatov does have a chance to win a decision here. Olejniczak, I think, could also edge out a decision on him. That would be plus 285. Gamzatov decision plus 175. I like Olejniczak decision more so. I do think he wins the fight. Fight goes the distance, sitting at -150 here for this fight. But Olin Jacek, straight underdog bet. He's got a superior boxing game. He moves better. If he can stay off of his back here, I believe he will. I think he gets the win. So that's a good little dog bet. And then the next one is going to be a controversial one. The chance of Verna Jendrudova. She is my least favorite of the dogs. I do acknowledge Hibas has a legit chance here. She could pull it off. I'm thinking Jendrudova split decision. +148 tag, -158 for her opponent, Amanda Hibas. Let's see here. Jendrudova wins by decision. Let's see what the value of that is. +317. Decent value there, but it would be my least favorite of all the underdog bets. Women's MMA, tricky. And Amanda Hibas is a hot prospect, but Jendrudova, damn tough. I do think she'll put a lot of pressure on Amanda Hibas here and edge out a very competitive decision. Not one that necessarily would be great for the betting because you'll be sweating yourself through it. But we have Jendrudova upset as the final of our dogs of the night. Overall, we will talk a little more about the value betting side. I think that Lerone Murphy over Makwan Amirkhani in the third round would be a decent play. Murphy wins round 3, +1,000. Solid sprinkle prop there. Definitely a Hail Mary. Murphy to win by KO TKO is +135, +150. I do think that's a likely outcome. I think he beats Makwan here. Overall, it's a solid card. Eliseo Zaleski over Benoit Saint Denis. Denis a tricky prospect on the rise, but I think Zaleski gets it done. I like under 2.5 there, -122. I like Zaleski wins inside the distance, +125. I do think he gets it done. Definitely some money to be made on this card. Definitely going to be great action. I literally cannot wait to watch these fights. I think this is one of the best cards we've had in a long time, and we have back-to-back legit massive UFC events, UFC 267 and then UFC 268 the next weekend. So I cannot wait. I am amped. I do want to send you guys off with some parlays though. This is the parlay that I like, a safe 3-fighter parlay. If you gave me $1,000 and said, put it on something safe, I need 3 fighters, Doreyev, Khamzat, Petryan. I think high likelihood of that coming through. If you're also feeling Volkov, you can add him in for a 4-fighter, +183. Maybe you're feeling like I need Makhachev. That'd be +227 if you had this crazy 5-fight parlay. If you want to make it, potentially more dog heavy and mixed, maybe you go Hugh Yazong, which would be risky, but you could put Hugh on there, mix him with Khamzat, right? And you mix him with Doreyev, you're looking at +350. I think that's a solid potential dog included play. Overall, some good props. I also like Ankalaev. If you're not feeling Hugh Yazong, you add in Ankalaev, Chimaev, Doreyev, -140. You get the EVs at the end each and every time. You might as well add in Makhachev, +128. That's a great all Russian value parlay right there. I think that one definitely does come through. But some good bets to be made. Decent little parlays. Overall, exciting card that I cannot wait to watch. Much love to everybody tuning in. Check out the weigh-in recap show. We'll dive the predictions one more time. We'll look at the fighters on the scales and talk about some more bets because there will be more props dropping for some of these fights. Smash that like button, guys. Show some love. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Keep it locked in at MMA Experts, covering all things mixed martial arts. If you need UFC predictions, I'll link it in the description. Much love. Thank you all so much. Subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Like this video. Share this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.